Hey guys, Voxide here. In order to edit this template, you will first of all need a logo. So I have my logo folder prepared over here, and you can just simply drag your logo inside the project window. So it's going to be this panel over here. So I'll just drag and drop this, and it should be importing. Give it a second, and here it is. Now we can go in our holders folder right over here, double click logo holder, and here in this composition you can just click your logo that you've just imported, and you can just drag it inside the composition. Alright, first of all, we will need to make this smaller, so this will depend on what logo you're using. So if you select your logo layer and press S for scale, you can then just decrease the scale or increase it as necessary. I will also move this to the side a bit, just so it's centered, and I can go ahead and delete the logo that we had previously. So just click and delete, and now I can just go in my text holder composition right here, double click, and here I have our text. And what I can do actually to preserve these colors, you can just double click this text layer, and then you can type your custom text over here, whatever you want. And I'm using Roboto for this font, so keep that in mind. And also you can, if you go inside your ramp options for your text layer, you can actually set whatever colors you want over here for your ramp, and this will update in your original, in your main render. So let's say I'm gonna choose blue for this text, but you can use any colors. And now I can just go in my main render composition below render folder, so double click this, and here you can see the colors have updated. But if you just want to use the original colors, you can just leave the settings as they are. And now going back in my main comp, you can see here our logo is updated. Alright, so let's check out our logo, see what we can do over here. For our logo, you have a special layer for controls. So if you click this, and in case this this window over here doesn't show up, you can press F3. So this will pop up our FX windows, and now I can access the controls. So first of all, we have the text version. So what the text version is it adds this text comp towards the, it adds sort of the transition between the logo comp and the text comp. So I'm talking about this part over here. For example, if I just want to use the first segment of this reveal, I can just click this checkbox right over here for text version, and now it will just simply fade to black, and the text segment won't show up. And you can just readjust your your length that you want to render, like so, by grabbing these handles over here. And now you can just render this this part without the text. And just make sure you turn on SFX only logo for your sound effects. So turn this on and turn this off. And the other way around, if you want to use a text version, make sure you have selected your whole area to render. And now you can actually just turn off the only logo SFX and turn on the SFX with text. So there's just things to keep in mind if you want to either have the text or just the logo version. Alright, let's go back in our controls over here. So texture will control how much the texture influences the logo. So if I set this back to 0, you can see now the original colors of the logo show. And texture 2 will control the amount of sort of like this roughen look around the colors. And if I set this to 0, you can see now it maintains the original look that your logo has. Reflection 2 will be, let's select another frame here, will be this sort of reflection to the side over here. So by setting this to 0, I can get rid of it. And glow 1 will be how much the overall glow will affect the logo. So if I set this to 0, you can see we have no logo. And also all of these values go up to 100 at most. So you can set this to 200, for example, but it won't make a difference. It sort of stops influencing at 100. So you can kind of see how that affects it. Right, set this back to 0. Glow 2 will be these the glow around the edges. So if I set this to 0, you can get rid of this. You can also just If you don't want such a high amount of highlight at your edges, you can just set this to something like 50, for example. But I will just turn this off just to showcase these controls. And finally, we have our scorched checkbox. And if I just disable this, you will just have your original logo as it is, without any scorched effects sort of forming on top of it. Alright, so these are the settings. After you've done editing your project, setting up your logo and text, you can go to composition, and here you will go to pre-render, and now you can choose your path, name, location, and file name. And then if you click on Custom AVI, you will then be able to select your format that you want to use. I will highly recommend you use H.264, and for format options right over here, you can use the higher values you use for target bitrate and maximum bitrate, the higher the quality will be. I will recommend using something like 24 and 56, seems to be working fine most of the time. And then I can click OK. Don't forget to also select audio output if you're using the sound effects. Hit OK, then you can render and you're done. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.